In the last 50 years, humans have eliminated 71% of all oceanic shark species. What 500 million years of catastrophe couldn't accomplish, we nearly managed in one human lifetime. Today, 67 facts about sharks. Not the image from movies, the real animal, the biology, the evolution, the ecological role, the documented truth about what sharks actually are and what we're actually doing to them. Fact 1. Sharks are not fish in the way we usually mean the word. They are cartilaginous fish, elasmobranchs, meaning their skeletons are made entirely of cartilage, not bone. This is not a primitive feature, it is an engineering choice that nature arrived at and kept because it works. Cartilage is lighter than bone, more flexible, and allows for greater range of movement. It is why sharks can bend and twist through water in ways a bony fish cannot. Fact 2. Because sharks have no bones, they almost never fossilize. Cartilage decays. What we find in the fossil record are mostly teeth, scales, and occasional cartilage in exceptional preservation conditions. The result is that the history of sharks is written almost entirely in teeth, and it is still one of the most detailed evolutionary records we have. Fact 3. Sharks belong to the subclass Elasmobranchii, which also includes rays, skates, and chimeras. The closest relatives of sharks are rays, which are, in evolutionary terms, essentially sharks that went flat. The disc-shaped body of a manta ray and the torpedo shape of a great white are both solutions derived from the same ancestral design. Fact 4. There are approximately 500 known species of sharks alive today. They range in size from the dwarf lantern shark, 20 centimeters long, the smallest known shark species, to the whale shark, which reaches 18 meters and is the largest fish on Earth. 500 species across this entire size range, all from the same basic template. Fact 5. All sharks are predators, but the word predator covers an enormous range. Some sharks hunt fast, warm-blooded prey like seals and tuna. Some are ambush predators that wait motionless on the seafloor for weeks. Some filter vast volumes of water for plankton. The word predator in the context of sharks means almost nothing without specifying which of 500 different evolutionary solutions we're talking about. Fact 6. The first organisms that can be identified as ancestral sharks appeared during the Silurian period, approximately 450 million years ago, evolved from a group of early bony fish. At this point, they were not recognizable as sharks in any modern sense, but the trajectory had begun. They were the first hint of what was coming. Feast 7. By the Devonian period, about 400 million years ago, the first fully formed sharks had appeared. The early Devonian shark, Cladocelashae, had a streamlined body, 5 to 7 gill slits, and a crescent-shaped tail, features that would echo through every shark lineage that followed. It was roughly 2 meters long, fast, and already an apex predator of its environment. Fact 8. The Carboniferous period, beginning around 360 million years ago, is called the Golden Age of sharks. During this time, shark diversity exploded. They radiated into an enormous number of forms, some with elaborate fin structures used for display or courtship, some with crushing tooth plates for hard-shelled prey, some that looked nothing like what we associate with the word shark today. The ocean was theirs. Fact 9. During the Permian mass extinction 252 million years ago, the event that killed 96% of all marine species, sharks were devastated. Many lineages were wiped out, but the lineage that would eventually produce all modern sharks survived. This is not luck. It speaks to something fundamental about the resilience of the design. Fact 10. By the Jurassic period, roughly 200 million years ago, the modern shark body plan had essentially solidified. Protruding jaws that could extend forward to seize prey, an innovation that changed shark hunting mechanics entirely, multiple rows of teeth in constant replacement. The template was set and has not fundamentally changed since. Fact 11. The Cretaceous period, 145 to 65 million years ago, saw the rise of the lineages that include most modern sharks. Lamniforms, the order containing great whites, makos, and their relatives, evolved during this period. Goblin sharks, which look like they were designed to disturb sleep, originated here too. Fact 12. Modern sharks have barely changed their body plan in roughly 100 million years. This is what biologists call evolutionary stasis, when the design works so completely that natural selection produces no significant improvement. The shark did not fail to evolve, it evolved so well that further evolution became unnecessary. Fact 13. Shark skin is not smooth. It is covered in tiny tooth-shaped scales called dermal denticles, skin teeth, each one aligned in the direction of water flow. These denticles reduce drag and turbulence as the shark moves. When engineers studied shark skin to improve human competitive swimming suits, they found that no synthetic replication has yet matched the performance of the original. Fact 14. The dermal denticles of a shark are structurally identical to teeth. They have a pulp cavity, a layer of dentine, and an enamel-like coating. The teeth in a shark's mouth and the scales on its skin are biologically the same structure, modified for different purposes. A shark is, in a sense, covered in teeth from head to tail. Fact 15. Sharks grow new teeth continuously throughout their lives. Multiple rows develop behind the active front row, moving forward as teeth are lost or worn down. Over a lifetime, a single shark may produce tens of thousands of teeth. Shark teeth are among the most common vertebrate fossils on Earth for exactly this reason. Fact 16. Different shark species have radically different teeth, each evolved for a specific diet. Great white teeth are triangular with serrated edges for cutting through marine mammals. Mako teeth are long, thin, and pointed for gripping fast-moving fish. Nurse shark teeth are small and dense for crushing crustaceans and mollusks. The mouth of each species is a precision tool for the prey it has evolved to hunt. Fact 17. A shark's jaw is not fixed to its skull the way a human jaw is. It can project forward, extending outward from the head at the moment of a bite. This protruding jaw mechanism dramatically increases the reach of the bite and allows the full width of the jaw to be brought to bear on large prey. The force isn't limited by the angle of a fixed joint. Fact 18. The bite force of a great white shark is approximately 1.8 tons per square centimeter. For comparison, a human bite generates roughly 80 kilograms. The bite force of a bull shark has been recorded at even higher relative levels for its body size. These figures are measured using specialized transducers that sharks have bitten directly. Fact 19. Sharks are neutrally buoyant. They don't sink and they don't float. They hover. They achieve this not with a swim bladder like bony fish, but with an enormous liver filled with oils lighter than water. In some deep-sea sharks, the liver accounts for up to 30% of total body weight. This oil ballast system is more reliable than a gas-filled bladder at extreme depths. Fact 20. Shark liver oil, called squalene, was harvested at industrial scale for decades for use in cosmetics, lubricants, and as a component in some vaccines. An estimated 3 million deep-sea sharks are still killed annually for their livers. Deep-sea species are particularly vulnerable because they reproduce very slowly. Fact 21. Many shark species must keep moving to breathe, a process called ram ventilation, where forward motion forces water through the gills. Stop swimming, stop breathing. Nurse sharks and wobbegongs can pump water actively and rest motionless. Great whites and makos cannot stop. They are permanently in motion for their entire lives. Fact 22. The short-fin mako shark is the fastest shark species, reaching speeds of 70 km per hour in short bursts, faster than a sprinting horse. Its white and red muscle fiber combination provides both explosive speed and sustained long-distance cruising capability. Fact 23. Certain shark species, including great whites, mako sharks, and thrasher sharks, maintain their internal body temperature significantly above surrounding water temperature through a countercurrent heat exchange system called the rete mirabile. Warm muscles contract faster and more powerfully, a key reason these species can outperform cold water prey animals that react more slowly in cold water. Fact 24. When flipped upside down or subjected to specific pressure on the snout, sharks sometimes enter a state called tonic immobility, becoming completely still and unresponsive for up to 15 minutes. Marine biologists use this state to perform examinations and attach tracking tags. The neurological mechanism behind it is not fully understood. Fact 25. Sharks have sensory organs in their snouts called ampullae of Lorenzini, small gel-filled pores that detect electric fields as weak as 5 billionths of a volt. All living things generate weak electrical impulses as muscles contract and nerves fire. A shark can detect a fish buried in sand a human heart beating at close range, and the Earth's magnetic field, which it uses for navigation. No human technology has replicated this sensitivity in a comparable form factor. Fact 26. Sharks can detect blood in water at concentrations of 1 part per million, roughly 1 drop in an Olympic swimming pool. But they don't smell blood from miles away and swim directly toward it. They follow a chemical gradient, zigzagging into the smell, using their paired nostrils to determine which side of the body the concentration is higher on and swimming toward the stronger signal. It is directed navigation, not a radar lock. Fact 27. Approximately 2/3 of a shark's brain volume is dedicated to processing smell. The olfactory lobes of a shark brain are proportionally enormous compared to any other sensory region. Smell is their primary long-range prey detection system, and the brain reflects this. Fact 28. Sharks have a sensory system humans have no equivalent of, the lateral line. A canal running along each side of the shark's body, filled with fluid and lined with hair cells, detects pressure changes and vibrations in the water. The lateral line registers the movement of another organism at distances of hundreds of meters before smell, sight, or electroreception even comes into play. Fact 29. A shark's hearing is tuned primarily to low-frequency sounds between 25 and 50 Hz, the range produced by an injured or struggling animal. This is not coincidence. It is the sound of potential prey in distress. The attraction of sharks to erratic, low-frequency sound is not aggression. It is basic prey detection, triggered before the shark can even identify the source. Fact 30. Sharks have good eyesight despite their reputation. Many species have a tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer behind the retina, giving them excellent vision in low-light conditions. Some species can see in color. The eye of a shark is not a primitive structure. It is a well-developed optical system that has been refined over hundreds of millions of years. Fact 31. When a shark attacks large prey, it sometimes rolls its eyes backward into the head, a protective reflex. This means a shark attacking large prey is functionally blind for the last fraction of a second of the attack, which is why sharks sometimes bite surfboards, kayaks, or humans in murky water. They locked onto a sensory signature and committed before they could visually confirm the target. Fact 32. Sharks learn. In controlled experiments, lemon sharks learned to press a target to receive a food reward, and retained this learned behavior for over a year. Grey reef sharks returned to specific feeding sites learned in a single session. Retained learning over long time periods was not expected in cartilaginous fish, and yet here it is. Fact 33. Some shark species are social. Scalloped hammerhead sharks form schools of hundreds of individuals in open ocean. White-tip reef sharks aggregate in groups that sleep together in caves during the day. Grey reef sharks establish dominance hierarchies through specific body posturing. Social behavior in sharks is real, documented, and more complex than anyone assumed. Fact 34. Great white sharks have documented individual territories and return to the same locations year after year. Specific individuals have been identified by the distinctive notch patterns on their dorsal fins and tracked across decades. Some individuals migrate more than 20,000 kilometers in a single year and return to the same feeding grounds with pinpoint accuracy. Fact 35. Sharks play. Great white sharks have been observed repeatedly interacting with floating objects, nudging kelp, circling buoys, investigating debris with no apparent feeding motivation. Whether this constitutes play in the cognitive sense is debated, but it is clearly not predatory behavior, and it has been observed often enough to be documented in the scientific literature. Fact 36. The Megalodon, Otodus megalodon, meaning large tooth, was the largest ocean predator in the history of life on Earth. It lived from approximately 23 million years ago to 3.6 million years ago. Current estimates place its length between 15 and 20 meters, roughly 3 times the length of a great white shark. Fact 37. Megalodon's teeth reached 18 centimeters in length, the size of a human hand. They were triangular, heavily serrated, and designed to shear through the largest prey in the Miocene Ocean. Its primary prey were whales. Fossil whale bones from the Miocene period show bite marks that match Megalodon tooth dimensions with remarkable precision. Fact 38. Based on jaw-width scaling relationships established in living sharks, Megalodon's jaws were estimated to span approximately 2.7 by 3.4 meters when fully open, easily large enough to swallow 2 adult humans side by side. This is a reconstruction from limited evidence, but no serious researcher disputes its approximate accuracy. Fact 39. Megalodon went extinct approximately 3.6 million years ago. The leading hypotheses include cooling ocean temperatures that reduced prey populations, the emergence of competing apex predators, including early killer whale ancestors, and the decline of warm, shallow coastal seas that were its primary hunting habitat. The extinction was probably all three acting simultaneously. Fact 40. Megalodon is not hiding in the deep ocean. An organism of that size would be visible, detectable on sonar, and would leave fresh bite marks on whale carcasses that regularly wash ashore worldwide. No such marks have been found. Continuous acoustic monitoring covers most of the world's oceans. No Megalodon signal has ever been detected. It is extinct and has been for 3.6 million years. Fact 41. The closest living relative of Megalodon is almost certainly the mako shark, not the great white, despite the popular association. Phylogenetic analysis places Megalodon in the family Otodontidae, related to but distinct from the family containing great whites. The tooth similarity is convergent evolution, the same solution arrived at independently for the same problem. Fact 42. The reason Megalodon is so well represented in the fossil record compared to most ancient sharks is the sheer size and density of its teeth. Larger teeth fossilize more readily, preserve more durably, and are more likely to be discovered. Megalodon teeth wash up on beaches worldwide after being churned up from shallow marine sediments. They are among the most commonly recovered shark fossils. Fact 43. The whale shark is the largest fish on Earth, reaching 18 meters in length and weighing up to 21 tons. It is a filter feeder that eats almost exclusively plankton, small fish, and fish eggs. It swims with its enormous mouth open, filtering hundreds of cubic meters of water per hour. Despite its size, it poses essentially no threat to humans. Divers regularly swim alongside whale sharks in the open ocean. Fact 44. The basking shark is the second largest fish on Earth, reaching 12 meters. It filters up to 2,000 tons of water per hour through its wide-open mouth. Its gill rakers strain out zooplankton. Up close, a basking shark's open mouth is large enough to fit a person inside and is entirely harmless to one. It is the most misleadingly terrifying-looking harmless animal in the ocean. Fact 45. The goblin shark lives in deep ocean at depths below 270 meters. It possesses a remarkable feeding mechanism. Its jaws can extend rapidly forward by up to 3 centimeters when striking prey, powered by elastic ligaments. This is called slingshot feeding. A goblin shark at rest looks nothing like a goblin shark in the act of feeding. The transformation takes milliseconds. Fact 46. The wobbegong is a carpet shark that lies motionless on the seafloor, disguised as a rock or piece of coral, and ambushes prey that swims past. Its camouflage is extraordinary. Elaborate skin flaps around its head break up its outline against the substrate. A wobbegong does not chase prey. It waits, sometimes for days. Fact 47. The hammerhead shark's unusual head shape, the cephalofoil, provides measurably superior electroreception coverage compared to a conventional shark snout. The ampullae of Lorenzini are spread across the wide, flat surface of the hammer, giving the shark a much larger sensory array. The hammerhead evolved a larger sensor and shaped its skull around it. Fact 48. The thresher shark has a tail as long as its entire body. It uses this tail as a weapon, whipping it at high speed through schools of fish to stun them before feeding on the disoriented prey. High-speed underwater photography captured this behavior directly. The tail strikes are fast enough to produce cavitation, a momentary vacuum in the water, generating enough force to stun fish without direct contact. Fact 49. The lantern shark is bioluminescent. It produces its own light through specialized cells called photophores. This counter-illumination camouflage makes it effectively invisible against the faint ambient light from above when viewed from below. Lantern sharks also use bioluminescence for communication with others of their species in the absolute darkness of the deep. Fact 50. Sharks are keystone species in virtually every marine ecosystem they inhabit. A keystone species is one whose removal causes disproportionate change relative to its abundance. Wolves in Yellowstone are the classic terrestrial example. Sharks play the equivalent role in ocean systems, and the consequence of their removal follows the same cascading pattern. Fact 51. By preying selectively on the weak, sick, and slow among prey species, sharks continuously improve the genetic fitness of fish populations. Prey animals that can outswim or outlast a shark reproduce. Those that cannot, don't. Across millions of generations, this selection pressure has produced fish species that are faster and more resilient than they would be without the predator. Fact 52. In parts of the Atlantic where large sharks declined sharply due to overfishing, populations of cownose rays increased dramatically. The rays fed heavily on scallops and other shellfish. Shellfish populations collapsed. Fisheries that had operated for decades closed. This documented trophic cascade is published in peer-reviewed literature and is one of the clearest natural experiments in predator removal we have. Fact 53. Shark excrement is a significant nutrient transport mechanism. Sharks feed in deep water and excrete in shallow water and at the surface, transporting nitrogen and phosphorus upward through the water column. This nutrient cycling stimulates phytoplankton growth in surface waters. Phytoplankton produces approximately half of Earth's atmospheric oxygen. The connection between sharks and the air we breathe is not direct, but it is real. Fact 54. The fear effect of sharks, the behavioral changes that prey animals make simply because sharks are present, affects the entire food web. Sea turtles avoid grazing in certain areas where sharks are present, preventing overgrazing of seagrass beds. When sharks are removed, this effect disappears, and the ecosystem changes in ways that have nothing to do with what the shark was directly eating. Fact 55. Coral reef ecosystems with healthy shark populations have dramatically higher fish biomass than those where sharks have been fished out. The mechanism? Sharks suppress mid-level predators that otherwise overeat the smaller fish that graze on algae that would otherwise outcompete coral. Remove sharks, and the algae wins. The reef transitions from coral-dominated to algae-dominated, a transition that is largely irreversible on human timescales. Fact 56. Sharks kill approximately 6 humans per year globally. This is the average over recent decades from the Global Shark Attack File. 6. In the same year, mosquitoes kill approximately 725,000 people through the diseases they transmit. Dogs kill approximately 25,000. The discrepancy between the statistical reality and the cultural fear of sharks is one of the largest perception gaps in our relationship with any animal. Fact 57. The 3 species responsible for almost all serious attacks on humans are the great white, the bull shark, and the tiger shark. The majority of great white attacks are single investigatory bites, followed by withdrawal. The shark investigates a novel object at the surface, finds it is not the energy-dense marine mammal prey it was looking for, and disengages. It is often paranoid because of the size of the animal delivering it, but it is not predatory intent in the way we use that phrase about deliberate hunting. Fact 58. Bull sharks are responsible for more attacks on humans than great whites in total number, largely because they inhabit shallow coastal and river water, the same environments humans use. Bull sharks can tolerate fresh water and have been found hundreds of kilometers up the Amazon River, the Mississippi River, and the Ganges. They are the one species that routinely shares human-inhabited water bodies. Fact 59. Sharks almost never deliberately hunt humans. We are not natural prey. We lack the fat density that marine mammals provide as a caloric return for the energy of a hunt. Most attacks fall into 2 categories. Investigatory bites in areas where the shark cannot visually confirm what it has detected, and defensive bites when a shark feels cornered or threatened. Neither category is the movie scenario of targeted predation. Fact 60. Surfboards, when viewed from below, closely resemble the silhouette of a seal or sea lion, the primary prey of great white sharks in areas like South Africa and California. The shark detects the electrical and acoustic signature of movement at the surface, begins an approach, and commits to the initial strike before visual confirmation is possible. This is not an error in the shark's programming. It is a system optimized for hunting marine mammals in murky water, encountering an environment filled with objects that didn't exist when that system was calibrated. Fact 61. Approximately 100 million sharks are killed by humans every year. This figure, published in the journal Marine Policy, represents targeted fishing, bycatch in nets set for other species, and illegal finning. 100 million animals per year from a group of species that reproduce slowly, mature late, and produce few offspring. This is not a sustainable rate by any biological measure. Fact 62. Shark finning. Cutting off the fins and discarding the still-living shark back into the ocean where it sinks and dies was driven primarily by demand for shark fin soup. The fins themselves are nutritionally essentially worthless. They contribute texture but no meaningful flavor or nutritional value to the dish. Shark fins are a status symbol built entirely on cartilage. Fact 63. Since 1970, the global population of oceanic sharks and rays has declined by 71%. This is the finding of a 2021 study published in Nature, analyzing decades of catch data across the world's oceans. More than 3/4 of all oceanic shark and ray species are now categorized as endangered by the IUCN. The great white shark has fewer than 3,500 individuals remaining in the wild. Fact 64. Deep-sea sharks are particularly vulnerable because of their life history. They mature at very advanced ages, reproduce infrequently, and have very small litters. The Portuguese dogfish doesn't mature until it is approximately 35 years old. A fishery targeting such a species is not harvesting annual surplus production. It is liquidating a capital stock that took decades to accumulate and cannot be quickly rebuilt. Fact 65. The collapse of shark populations does not produce a simple redistribution of fish abundance. It produces instability, oscillations in previously regulated species, the rise of mesopredators, the decline of the organisms those mesopredators eat, and eventually a simplification and degradation of the entire ecosystem. Complex food webs become simpler. Simpler food webs are less stable. Less stable food webs are more vulnerable to further disturbance. The chain of consequence is long and, at several points, irreversible. Fact 66. Sharks have been here for 450 million years. In that time, they survived an asteroid impact, multiple ice ages, the complete reorganization of the planet's continents, and the greatest mass extinction in Earth's history. What they have not evolved to survive is being pulled out of the water in nets at a rate of 100 million individuals per year. The biology that made them invulnerable to every natural catastrophe for 500 million years provides no protection against this. Fact 67. The fear we feel when we see a shark is real, it's evolutionary, it's ancient, and it's appropriate in the sense that these are large, powerful, effective predators. But we've allowed that fear to become the entire story. We took a creature that has been the ocean's primary quality control mechanism for 450 million years, decided it was a monster, made movies about it being a monster, and then killed 100 million of them a year while convincing ourselves the ocean would be safer without them. The ocean will not be safer without them. It will be less stable, less diverse, less productive, and less able to sustain the fisheries that billions of people depend on for food. The shark doesn't need our admiration to justify its existence. It has been here longer than we've had the concept of admiration. But it does, for the first time in its history, need something from us. It needs us to stop.